Halloween, Adam.
Happy Halloween.
Hey, folks, we spend most of our time in the cocoa corridors, hand selecting the finest Ghanaian beans, the most aromatic Ivorian fermentations, and the ripest Ecuadorian flavor notes to craft the rich, velvety ganache that is our Blommer chocolate. But sometimes, just sometimes, we sneak into a forgotten warehouse in Abidjan, stir together some misplaced cocoa nibs, a half-melted chocolate bar from 2017, and a spreadsheet that may or may not be haunted by Q4 2024 volatility still, and serve it up to the brave souls gathered here for the unpredictable, bittersweet, and occasionally nutty segment that we call Cocoa Update from Blommer. So, Adam, I guess, this is our first podcast. Um, what did we see this last week?
This last week was relatively volatile with not a big change in prices. Overall, I think we saw things go when we're looking at the March market. We went from 63.89 to 62.44. So we saw a decline of about $140 over the last week. But during that time period, of course, we saw it shoot all the way up to, almost 6,600 and shoot all the way back down to, 5,900 at one period. So it's been quite a period of volatility.
That's true. And then last week was great. I think we saw the Ivory Coast elections, which concluded peacefully. We saw the Cameroon elections, maybe a little bit less peaceful, but still, I think we are behind it. It's behind us now. Um, and then, what else did we have?
Other big news was the tariff announcement coming in early in the week. There's been a lot of China stuff, but that obviously doesn't impact cocoa. We saw Malaysia, Cambodia, and there was two others.
Indonesia?
Indonesia,
Indonesia?
very
Yes, that's
important.
right.
They obviously signed some deals with the US. Two of them were agreements and two of them were frameworks. Nothing's actually been announced to Customs or Border Patrol yet. The idea was that they were going to finally use that Annex 3 that we got information about in executive order months and months ago. And this was going to exempt some cocoa and cocoa products from tariffs coming
Okay,
into
that's
the
great.
United States. Of course, we haven't seen anything real yet, hasn't been submitted to Congress for approval, but it's an encouraging sign and it tells us what we could expect in the future.
It's going to happen, Adam. I can feel it. I can feel it. And also, we saw, the Blommer, not the Blommer commodity index, but the Bloomberg commodity index. I think now they're going to add cocoa to it. This could be bullish news because, they're actually talking about quantities close to almost 25% of the existing open interest. So it's definitely a watch out.
I mean, looking at that, that seems pretty substantial in and of itself, and I think that surely had an impact today. But 25% of just new buying on the market, that's certainly going to be a risk. And although it could help liquidity, I do wonder what that's going to do when they start actually making the buying.
Yeah. But when you have a surplus, it's good because then you can sell it to them. But it's still a risk. It's a big risk for now.
Right. Right.
And what else? I think we got some quarterly earnings, right?
Yes, we got quarterly earnings from several large companies. The big consistency was that prices had been going up for consumers. As with that, there was a slowdown in some volume. It's unclear. There's different results from different companies, but there was either whether they're bottoming out or whether they're kind of continuing to see declines in volume. The big consistency was higher prices. I think the bright side is it seemed like in terms of increasing prices, the worst of it had happened, and so we're going to see a slowdown in the price increases customers are seeing. And then a lot of what was expected for 2026, a lot of volume was hedged, and we've seen that overall in the market. I think we've seen increasing cover across the market and stuff like that as people try to eliminate some of these risks we're talking about.
Right. Okay. So what do you feel at the end of the week? Market up or down?
I mean, how I'm feeling for next week generally.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel a little bit like we've hit this settlement area. We've been bouncing up and down and up and down. We've come off of that long downtrend, and I think we're seeing whether the bulls or the bears have a little bit more strength. And I think the risks are to the upside as opposed to the downside after that big decline. Nothing's guaranteed, of course, but that's where it feels the big risks are. I mean, what's your take?
I've been listening to what these kids outside have been saying when they come for these Halloween treats, 6, 7, whatever that means. So it feels a little bit like that, that this market is, still a lot of risk. But at the same time, some of the fundamental news is also to the downside. But 6, 7. So maybe we leave it at that for this
Maybe
week.
that's what we need to leave it at. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, and happy
Uh,
Halloween to you and to everyone else who watches this podcast.
Happy Halloween.
Thanks.
Thank you.